The following is a rebroadcast of the 1992 Tri-State Tournament of Champions. Be sure to join Doug Brown and Dan Murphy on Sunday, October 11th for a brand new season of Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Last Sunday, Glenn LeBlanc was hoping for his second win in a row in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. For a while, he stayed right with Mike Morgan as both bowlers heated up early. But in Game 2, Morgan went on a rampage.
On the spare. Look out.
He finished with 8 consecutive marks and a 173 middle game. Morgan went on to a huge 455 triple, the highest of the season here on the Winds. So today, it's Morgan who moves on, and he'll face older brother Tom Morgan, the number 3 seed. They were hoping to get this chance, brother against brother. This is Week 3 of the 1992 Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, come on! Oh, 24! Oh!
From Park Place Lanes in Wyndham, featuring outstanding candlepin bowlers from all over New England.
You're gonna hear some noise if this is a strike. Got a shot at it. Yes! Got it in a row! Oh, wow!
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. It is now Week 3 of the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. 2 full hours coming up here on the Winds. First here in singles, and then, of course, at 1 o'clock we'll pick up with Week 3 in doubles. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy, and we've had 2 terrific matches, high scores so far. The bowlers don't seem to be having any trouble with nerves at all.
Not at all. 400 is the key, I guess. If you're going to win in this Tournament of Champions, you're going to have to hit 400. And last week, you'd have to hit a big 400 to defeat Mike Morgan.
All right, we've got a terrific treat in store, I'm sure. Today we have a brother versus brother mano-a-mano matchup. It should be terrific.
It's going to be great. Great. If they both bring the top of their game with them, it's going to be some big scores as well.
All right, let's have you meet both of our bowlers. First of all, our number 4 seed from Lynn, Massachusetts, making actually his second appearance on the Tournament of Champions. He was in the first one back in 1989, and he rolled a big 455 last week for his first win, Mike Morgan.
Okay, Mike comes in averaging 125. That's nothing compared to what he's averaging on the show. High single of 188, high triple 474, which he almost beat last week.
That's right. He had a huge second game, a 173, and then he cruised home with the win to beat Glenn LeBlanc with that big 455 3-string total. And so today, as he had hoped, he gets a chance to face our number 3 seed and his brother, his older brother, from Lynn, Massachusetts, Tom Morgan.
And Tommy comes in averaging 126, 192 for high single, 490 for high triple. Stats very, very close.
And also, Tom has had quite a bit of success here on Stars and Strikes. Hasn't been here quite as many times as Mike has, but also has a very fine record here as well. Now, we have $140 coming up later on in the bonus ball contest, but of course, we've got big money at stake in the prize money, and of course, only 2 more weeks after this week to go in the Tournament of Champions. So this is going to be fun. Mike Morgan and Tom Morgan, 3 strings to see who will move on in the Tournament of Champions. We'll get it started right after these messages. Don't go away. Once again, to bring you up to date on the first 2 weeks of the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, Glenn LeBlanc won the opening match with a 412, beating Stu Bergman. But then last week, Glenn LeBlanc had the trick turned on him as Mike Morgan threw a 455. And so Mike advances to face brother Tom. The winner of this one gets Dave Richards next week. And 2 weeks from today, Paul Berger comes in as the number 1 seed to face whoever is left. Mike Morgan now. We'll start this match. Well, certainly from the time that we first noted that their 2 qualifying scores were so close to each other, we knew there was a possibility that this match could happen. And I think these 2 guys, and a lot of other people too, are looking forward to it.
I think so.
And a 9 for Mike. Last week, Mike had strings of 155, 173, and 127. for his .455 total. He had 21 marks. And he may have a strike here. He does. His first mark today.
9 pins went out in a hurry. And off the wall comes a piece of wood to knock down the 5-pin for the strike. Now, brother Tom, the older of the two brothers.
Older by just a couple of years. Tom overall here on Stars and Strikes has a record of 5-2. Mike's record now is 11-2, by the way.
Ooh, that close to converting the 4 horsemen.
Tom qualified for the Tournament of Champions back in March when he beat Steve Vadnais 416 to 372. Actually, Tom came very close to qualifying for the Tournament of Champions a couple of years back. He was in a series championship match against Jim Cassell, but he lost that match. So this is his first time in the Tournament of Champions, and he's bowling against his brother.
3:06:10 left for Tom. Wonder how long it will be before I call Tom Mike or Mike Tom. Ooh, just sliding by the 3.
Looked like he had a problem with his footing on that approach. Mike now in 12 singles appearances here on Stars and Strikes has thrown 400 or better 9 times, including last week. This is on a strike, punching out the half Worcester. That's the first half Worcester of this Tournament of Champions, isn't it?
I believe it is.
And we've only had one spread eagle, I think. Almost converts that for a spare.
Very nearly did, but it gets the big fill on the strike of 9. And a 10-pin advantage.
And a 10 in the box. An 8-pin.
Kind of walked across there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I thought for a moment it might stay up. But instead, it's now a piece of wood over on the right. We'll see if it helps. Cut it a little bit too fine and missed
Watch
the
out.
object pin. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Pardon me, had it all the way. Had it all the way. Well, if it's all in the family, I suppose it's okay, right?
Oh, wow. There it comes. Way to hit him, Mike.
You'll hear a lot of worthwhile one-liners in the background during this program, I have a feeling.
4-6-10 for Tom. A couple of pieces of wood in between. Now, does he play the 4-pin in the wood or kind of hit the wood where the 2 pieces meet? That's what he's trying to do, and that's the place.
Mark number 1, Tom Morgan.
Hit just perfectly.
Tom lives in Revere, his wife Linda, and children 9-year-old Jamie and 7-year-old Kelly. Tom works at GE and does a lot of his bowling at the post office lanes in Lynn. Mike also works at GE and bowls at post office. But they have not bowled together head-to-head in a television situation like this in a long, long time. As near as they can remember, probably back to the late 70s. This is Mike Morgan on a spare in the 4th. Eight drop.
Safe to say, 8 drop, yes.
I think.
Have to wait till everything settles down here when Mike is up there. This 3 and the 7 pins. Piece of wood, double piece of wood in between.
Ooh.
Ooh. Right between the 3 pin and the wood.
And it'll be a 9. 65 half for Mike Morgan. The runner-up on this show will take home 4th place money, which is $300, and a runner-up plaque from the N&R Trophy Company of Winchendon, Mass. The winner moves on to the semifinal match next week to take on our number 2 seed, Dave Richards.
Oh, he's just going to have to hit the wood as many as he can, drive it straight back.
Well, Mike has 3 marks, all on lane 31.
He likes lane 31 early in the match.
And Tom full on the head pin again.
Nice try. Everything but the 3.
Picks up a pin. The lead for Mike now 11. We certainly hope that you're enjoying the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, our 4th annual event here on Stars and Strikes. And of course, this year, for the first time, on our new Stars and Strikes doubles program at 1 o'clock, the Tri-State Megabucks Doubles Tournament of Champions. Week 3 of that event comes up immediately following this program at 1 o'clock as our doubles teams continue to battle it out.
Disappointing 6 box for Tommy Morgan. Now Mike working on a spare.
All made possible, of course, by the great support we have gotten over the years from the folks at Tri-State Megabucks. Can't thank them enough for their support. And to all of you folks out there watching who have made both shows such big hits, we thank you very much. And Mike Morgan handles the spread eagle for a 10 after a 4 fill on a spare. So back to lane 31 now for Mike, where he's perfect, 3 for 3 in marks. You notice how, since I mentioned spread eagles and half worsters, that we've seen a lot of punch-outs?
And I didn't want to mention it because if I did, maybe they'd hang around a little longer, but you've done it anyway, so. I tell the Morgan boys that you guys are bowling all right. It's Doug.
Hold on. This is Mike now. No, it's a 9.
98 through 8. Both bowlers on the head pin fairly consistently, but 2 full, going right through the middle. And again, Tommy's there, but 6, 7, and 10. A couple pieces of wood in front of the 6, 7, plays it to the left, maybe snap it across. Well, he did, but he left the 10. Great try there.
Thought he had done it, I'm sure. Take a 10 bucks. So an opportunity lost there with the open frame, but he's got another chance here in the 8th. Pretty good looking first ball, but this is anything but an easy shot. The 2, 5, and 8. Joe Paglia will have to head down and check that piece of wood, and it is in play, although probably not a factor.
Well, you almost got to be flush on the 2 pin to carry the 8, but you run the risk of missing the 5. Whoa, he just off the piece of wood.
I don't know if Tom intended to do that, but it worked out for him.
Not a bad idea, though. Just gave Well, the ball took the 5, and the 5 took the 8, and the wood came off the wall for the last pin, the 2-pin.
Mike Morgan now in the pocket, but funny leave. The 5, 8, 9, 10.
There goes the 5. Now it's the 8, 9, 10.
Now it's even less fun. And a $7. Nope. Room for one more box for Mike Morgan in this first game. This time the 5-8.
And I don't like the piece of wood in between. Hit the 5-pin clean, the wood misses the 8-pin. Come up on the nose, you're liable to miss both.
Ooh.
Just enough to catch it. Good shot.
Well, 4 marks for Mike, and they're all in lane 31. So he'll fill a spare here in the 10th. He'll stay on lane 31. And nice looking ball. Fortunately, he doesn't have to shoot at this. The 5-10, it's an 8 fill and a 123. So a chance for Tom Morgan to close the gap here if he were to add another mark or 2. He's working on a mark right now. And he fills it. He fills it.
Lead down to 5 now. That was a quick strike.
Good chance to take the lead now in the match. Although he'll need another mark.
How about a double?
Oh, yes, big break there. Huge break on the 5-8.
Not to coin a phrase, but a little bit of Morgan magic.
Oh.
Looked like it was almost an impossible spare leave, then cleared out everything but the 10, and he'll convert that.
120 plus a ball. If he takes more than 3, he'll have the lead. And the fill is 7. Look at that, almost the identical lead that we had earlier. So Tom Morgan comes from behind with a big finish and takes a 4-pin lead after 1 game. Still plenty to go here on Stars and Strikes. Don't go away. Here's Tom Morgan ready to lead it off in game 2, and he's got a 4-pin lead. And he'll shoot at the 3, 6, and 10. And he's got it spare.
Been a different bowler the last 4 or 5 boxes now. Seems to be throwing the ball a little more authority.
Not much to choose between the 2 brothers in that first game. They each had 3 spares and a strike. Only a 4-pin differential in the scores. Tom Morgan with a chance for 2 in a row here.
But a difficult one. Almost have to cap the wood in front. Oh, it's going to have to come off the wall.
Ooh.
It does.
Mike doing a little house cleaning over on lane 31. Mike averaged 152 in his 3 strings last week. Overall here on Stars and Strikes, Mike Morgan is averaging just under 140.
So you're saying that 123 is kind of a lousy game for him, huh?
I didn't say that. Spare in the first for Michael.
Keeping a list of all these things. Well, so far we're perfect in this this game. All marks, 3 frames completed, and all spares for both bowlers.
And we may have another one here in a second. 9 drop.
Mike's ball, if anything, it's straight, but if anything, it'll back up from left to right.
2 marks each to start this second game.
Tommy's ball, well, it's kind of on the straight side, but if anything, it'll break right from right to left. Just opposite of his brother, Mike.
Tom on a spare. Ooh, punches out the
wow.
1 and 5. And you don't see that very often.
Not until we mention spread eagles and half Worcesters.
Well, it's funny, too. We've talked about this before. The half Worcester is so common, yet the 1-5 punch out, which is in essence the same shot, doesn't happen very often. Well, that can slow you down.
That certainly can. Take the wind right out of the sails. Spare 2-5. It's just like 17 pins total in the 2 frames.
Well, he seemed to be in a pretty good groove before that, so the key is, I guess, to try and forget it, although this is not going to be an easy shot. The 2, 8, and 9 with no real playable wood. So Tom, in spite of starting the game with 2 marks, is going to be at 44 through 4. Well, like we've said so many times before, the object of the game to hit the head pin or the object pin. Sometimes you get burned.
That's true. 2 on the spare, but you hit your object pin, but 1/4 of an inch either way. Might have been a strike or a 9-pin drop.
Like that. That was on a spare for Mike Morgan. So Mike retakes the lead. And he will now wait for the wood. 7-pin. Yeah, looks like that wood will stay right there.
Clear shot at the 7.
Yes. 3 in a row, yep.
You got it, 3 spares. Retakes the lead.
Oh, big fill again.
He knew it too. He was waiting for that 8-9 or strike.
That's 3 straight 9 drops on marks.
Very well could have been strikes. 7-pin this time.
We take a break. Mike Morgan probably wants to keep going during the commercial. We'll try and stop him. And we'll be right back in a minute. Tom Morgan now trailing in this match as brother Mike has put together some quick offense here. Oh, but how about that for offense?
That was a quick one. Nice lift on the ball. Ball breaks back into the 1-3 pocket. Scrambles 9 of them, and then finally the 10-pin. Last one to go down. Looking for the double.
Second strike of the match for Tom. Off target this time, but look out. Oh, that piece of wood on the left prevented the strike. Stopped that other piece of wood from coming forward.
It was coming back, yes.
But I'm sure Tom will be pleased with the spare if he can convert. He does.
And back and forth we go.
This is one of those matches where it would be fun to have the bowlers mic'd.
Yes.
So that we could hear exactly what's going on, but
They both seem to be rooting for each other, though. But there's a little bit of ham in each one of them, so I imagine it'd be pretty entertaining.
a little bit. Oh, could be a strike. Could be a strike. The 6-pin is wobbling. Instead, it's the 4th consecutive 9 drop for Mike Morgan.
He's got a test. He's going to have to come up high in the wood. I don't think he can drive the ball straight through. No,
Oh, my.
That's what he had to do, though. Just missing the cap of that piece of wood. Now you know it's going to go if he hits it. Yep, just missed it.
86 half for Mike Morgan. So he will slide now over to lane 31. leads in the match by 20, rather by 18. Trailed by 4 coming in. Right on the head pin. How about that?
Are you kidding?
5 9 drops in a row and then a strike.
And all of those 9-pin drops were solid 9-pin drops. With any luck, he could have had 4, 5, 6 strikes in a row. Incredible.
This is on a spare for Tom Morgan, and he'll have to shoot at the diamond. Not wasting any time. It's safe to say that for most bowlers, if you're in a groove, you bowl faster.
I think that's the tendency. In fact, you have to almost put reins on yourself, try to keep you from charging the line too fast. But most of them, if they know they're in a groove, just like a baseball pitcher, the batter wants to step out on him to slow him down a little bit because he's hitting the corners.
A little off target that time, but not too bad.
The 1, 2, and 8 pins.
Ooh, missed the head pin.
Watch out, watch out!
Hold on. Didn't hit it quite solidly enough. Tom turned away anyway. He knew he had missed it.
99 through 8.
Mike Morgan working on that big strike in the 6th.
This is what he did last week. He threw that monster of 173 in that second game. Be a bit surprised to see him throw a double the way he's been throwing that first ball. This time he crossed over a little tight on the 1-2 pocket, leaves himself to 3, 5, 6, and 10 for the spare.
Hmm. Yeah. 114 through 7. And his lead is 21, as you see in the lower right. Just slightly off target, missing the head pin to the left, but hang on, it's not over yet. The 1 and the 7. For the spare? Yes, right on top of it.
Almost lost the head pin going up over the 7 pin. Watch how high the 7 pin. Tommy Morgan, final 2, game number 2.
Tom really needs a couple of marks here in this final 2.
Really does.
Doesn't want that lead to grow too high.
6 and 9 pins for the spare.
Yes. Spare up in the 9th. Tom had a strong finish in the first game. Like another one here.
5th mark this second game. 4 spares and 1 strike. You'd like his second strike if you can. Light hit. This time you'll have the 2 and the 10. Try to cut the 2 on the left-hand side.
Going right after it. Oh, boy, was that close. Tom almost ran into the wall. Trying to get that one to go over. Takes the single pin for the 9 and a 126. 2-string total 253. He'll be trailing after the second game. The question is by how much? Mike Morgan is working on a mark. Of course, has 2 frames to go. It appears that he will be up over 150 at least in this game. Ooh. But he'll need another mark to do it now.
Just trying to clear 3 or 4 more away. Get an 8, so it's 134.
let's hang on. The 4-pin will stay.
Oh, look, a 9-pin drop. Haven't seen any of those in a while. About 3 boxes.
Spare in the 10th.
Just joined us, you can see the beginning of this game. All the 9-pin drops that Mike Morgan had. 144 and a ball to come. I'll take it.
Mike
says.
looked up, some of the pins fell over before he had a chance to throw. So he'll re-rack. $144 plus a ball. And let's see, it'll be 6. 150 even. So a 273 total for Mike Morgan and a 20-pin lead for younger brother against older brother. And we'll be back with game 3 in a minute. One game remaining, and here's the man in the lead. The lead is 20. Mike Morgan looking for his 2nd win in a row. And he leaves the 8-pin, another 9-pin drop. Spare it up. 3 years ago, Mike was here in the very first Tournament of Champions, and he put 3 wins together, coming up from the number 5 spot, before he finally lost to Bob Moran in what was one of the all-time great matches here on Stars and Strikes, 448 to 435. Could be another 9-pin drop. Let's see. Nope, only 8 this time. Thought he might take an extra pin. Actually, after that, oh, nice cut shot there with the help of the wood. Get another look.
Just sliding it to the left of that 2-pin and sliding everything to the right. 2 marks in a row. And on his way to another 400 triple.
Oh, hang on. Now, the only problem now may be that wood in front. It's very far out in front of the 4 and the 7. Let's see. Oh yeah, no problem there. That's mark number 10 for Tom. Mike has 13. Ooh, tough break there.
Would stop the wood coming from the right, would have probably knocked down the 4 and the 7. Stopped it. Now he's looking at the 4, 7, and the 10-pin.
Will it jump? No. So the lead will increase for Mike Morgan as he steps up to fill this mark. It's at 21 plus this first ball.
Let's see what he did last week. 21 out of 30 boxes were marks.
Oh, through the middle for 3. It'll be an 8 box. Mike Morgan has failed to mark on lane 31 only 1 time in this match. That's where he is right now. He's 10 for 11, 10 marks in 11 tries over on this lane. But of course I had to mention it. Does get a $10 though. Nicely done.
49 through 4.
An opening for Tom. 2 open boxes by Mike.
2 marks here, and the match would be fairly close. Ooh,
Oh.
Just missed the head pin, and 4 horsemen plus the triangle in the right-hand corner.
A quick word, if we may, about our participating sponsors for the Tournament of Champions. The folks at Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire. Come to Salem and save. And Somerville Lumber. Get it right the first time.
One, 2, 4, 10 left for Tom.
Inside route, and it won't get over to the 10 pin.
And can't take advantage of the 2 open frames by his brother Mike.
So we will pause with 6 frames to go in this match. Mike Morgan leads by 24. There's still time for older brother. We'll see in a minute. The stretch run here on Stars and Strikes. Mike Morgan leading brother Tom by 24 pins with 6 frames to go. Oh, big strike.
Watch this one closely. Don't blink, because they go in a hurry. Wow.
He's got 14 marks now, Dan, but only 3 on lane 32. That's where he just threw that strike. This has been his good lane right here, and he's got an 8 drop. Oh, misfired on that one. Actually, 4 marks for Mike on lane 32 and 9 on, or rather 10 on lane 31. But he's open this time as he goes strike 9, 10. Putting at least a little bit more pressure on his brother, because Tom knows he's got to put 1 mark up there just to keep the lead around 20. And it'll be a 9 drop.
That close to a strike. Looked like he might have got some sidewall action for the 2 pin, but certainly has a nice guide if that's frozen. I think it is frozen against the backside of the 2 pin. Doesn't need it anyways. Right on the 2 pin.
The winner of this match gets Dave Richards next week in the semifinals. A reminder to stay tuned right after this match. We'll have week 3 of our doubles Tournament of Champions.
4 horsemen right, 1, 3, 6, 10. This is the one Mike would really like to cut into the lead. No, he's going to miss the head pin. I say Tom. There, I finally made the mistake. I get it out of the way.
You wondered how long it would be. And
yeah, I'm right into the 3rd game, though. That's pretty good.
it's a 9 box, so the lead is now 28 with 4 boxes to go. And Mike is sitting in a good spot here because he's got the lead and he bowls first.
4 boxes remaining. You need 4 marks to make up 28 pins. So Mike can really put him into a double strike situation with a couple marks.
Through the middle, spread eagle.
Or with a bad frame or 2, he could reduce it to needing only 3 marks.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. He got it. The spread eagle for a spare from Mike Morgan.
Looked at first he's going to be awful close to making it. Actually went through the 3 and the 6 and came back off the wall. Great shot. Fantastic.
On the spare. 8 more.
This could be the game winner right here. Six and the 9. Piece of wood in the front, wants to get by the front piece. He does. He should. Woo. Came up high. He's got up on his toes on that one because he thought he might clip the front piece wood. But was able to get by it for the spare. 2 in a row, and a lot of pressure now on older brother Tom. And what's new? Mike Morgan is on the way to another 400 triple. It's 379 right now, plus the bonus ball in the 8th.
Pretty good ball. 8 drop. A piece of wood sitting right there in front, not in a good spot. We'll have to wait and see if it's playable or not. Joe Paglia already on the way to look at it. Tom knows he's hoping. And let's see, it looks like it may be out of play. It is. So Tom will get a clear shot at the 2-5.
Oh.
No, pick the 2 right off it. Well, that could just about do it. The fill ball here for Mike Morgan is going to move the lead over 40.
And Mike is taking no prisoners last week or this week. This fill will determine whether he needs another mark for 400. He's going to need another one. No, he's not going to need another one. He's going to get one anyways.
That close to it. Needs a 127 for 400, so he's at 120 right now. There's 121, and still a box to come.
394. It's a 6 box or better.
I wouldn't bet against him.
No.
There you go. That's 10 times now, 10 out of 13 appearances that Mike Morgan has rolled a 400 or better here.
I wonder if he realizes that.
Oh, picks off the object pin in the triangle. Now, he's already closed Tom out. There's no way Tom can do it, even if he were to fire all strikes here.
Well, and then there were 3. Tom Morgan, Mike Morgan will move on next week. Dave Richards waiting. And 2 weeks from now, Paul Berger, the #1 seed, will be in.
Oh, Tom lets it slip off the lane. Tom had his moments on this show, Dan. He was able to string some together at the end of the first game, and he had a pretty good start to the second game, but he just never really got it going after that. And there is a perfect example, chopping out the 1 and 9, which looks impossible. .402 for Mike Morgan. And Brother Tom will finish with a 359. So Mike takes the matchup of the 2 Morgan brothers from the North Shore. Mike making it 2 wins in a row. We'll talk to both bowlers, do the bonus ball contest, and set you up for the rest of the Tournament of Champions in a minute. And welcome back to Candlepin Stars and Strikes, the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Tom Morgan just arriving on the scene here. A turn in here so we can get you on camera. And well, I know this was a lot of fun for both of you. The 4th place prize probably, well, I guess neither one of you really was doing this for money, right? It was just the fact that you were bowling against your brother, and it was a lot of fun,
Yeah,
right?
all for fun, yeah. No money involved. Mikey's throwing the ball real good. He's on top of his game right now. He's throwing the ball better than I was, and that's the name of the game. He's throwing the ball better than I was, and I just couldn't get anything going.
So now you have to stay around for the next couple of weeks and maybe root for him, right?
Oh, yeah, I have a lot of money invested in this. We won't get into that now, but yeah, the better he does, the better I do.
Thanks very much, Tom. Congratulations. We hope to see you again soon. We have two brand new sets of bowling balls on the line, too, from Paramount Industries. Should we get a match? Oh, my. Well, he was hitting lane 31 all day, and he throws the strike. Not a match for Jeanette McDonald of Lowell, Mass., whose guess was 7. But Jeanette, how could you have known that Mike was hitting lane 31 so well today? And so that means we'll be up to $150 next week. And for Mike Morgan, win number 2 in a row. And you put this one away. You took the lead the second game and cruised home from there.
I wouldn't say put it away. 20 pins isn't a safe lead, but I came out with 2 marks the third string, and he got the mark and punched 3. I mean, it makes it a little easier up over 2 marks. And Tommy, when he was moving to the 31, he was having trouble hitting the head pin over there, so he wasn't like attacking on 31 like he was 32, so I had a little extra advantage there.
But as far as you're concerned, you like it here, don't you? I mean, you
tell
bowl very well here.
This place treats me well. Maybe it's the 2 hosts, I don't know.
There you go. That's right. Well, next week it'll be semifinal time. Dave Richards caught the end of the show, I know, and he's ready to go.
Oh, I'm sure he is. It's just throw the ball and hope if the breaks keep coming, anything can happen, I'll tell you. He's tough. They don't get easy. There's no easy matches.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thanks again.
All right, another 400 triple. Ho-hum, another 400 triple from Mike Morgan. Let's spin over to the ladder. We'll get a look at what's happening next week. Semi-final week, of course, next Sunday at 12 noon. Mike Morgan looking for 3 in a row against Dave Richards.
Dave Richards was here seeing the end of this one, so he knows what he's up against. And, of course, Mike's been here before, so he knows.
Of course, don't go away because we're only halfway done today here on Stars and Strikes. After a brief break, we will be right back with Strikes doubles and week 3 of the doubles Tournament of Champions, all brought to you by Tri-State Megabucks. We thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to join us next Sunday at 12 noon. We'll have 2 full hours of semifinal week here on Stars and Strikes. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, Doug Brown, bye-bye from Park Place Lane.